Who's looking out for you?
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday night special presentation. And we figured the timing was right to do a training facilitating how to talk to network marketers. Because when we started last July, we were at momentum rank 119. And then we were at 85. And then it was 35 or 30 something. And then it was 15. And now we're at 14. And I'm just telling you, when we hit the top 10, that's when all the other network marketers go, oh my gosh, it's happening. We got to get involved right now. And they're going to start looking for people who are involved to get involved with. So we want you guys to be fully prepared on how to talk to these network marketers. So the first lesson is the color personalities. And I know we've trained on this before, but I'm going to go through within just a minute or two. If people are very scientific or they're very detail oriented and they want to know all the individual things happening before they get started, we would consider them a green personality. Okay. Those are the people that are going to ask you about the science, ask you how the comp plan works. And if you say there's 15 different ways, they go, tell me all 15 and spend 20 minutes on each one. Okay. Those are green people. Then there's the yellow people. These are the people who are the mothering. They like the team aspect, the culture, the community, being a part of something big, right? And exciting and like a new family of choice. We've got the blue people who are all about the party and the good time, okay? Yes, I see a lot of hands raising, right? We got a lot of blue people. But a lot of blue people are also red people. And really what we're focusing on right now tonight is the red people. These are the people who, and the best way to describe that is all the other color categories speak in sentences and paragraphs, and red people tend to speak in bullet points and numbers, okay? So when you get an email from me, or even a text, or even one of my newsletters, it's usually there's bullet points on there, or there's numbers, or I'll say, I'm gonna tell you 3 things today. Like, okay. So most network marketers, I'm even gonna say 90% of network marketers, red is their primary color, or at very least their secondary color. So tonight we're gonna talk about how to talk to red people. And here's why that's important. Because if you are a yellow or a green specifically, and possibly a blue, and you're talking to a red in your own language, which is sentences and paragraphs, the red is gonna be like this. Hurry it up, get to the point. So you need to learn how to talk to them in their language. And I'm gonna give you an example of how that works, okay? I have a girlfriend, she's incredibly yellow. Like yellow to the max, okay? So when she sends me a text, it's never less than 3 paragraphs. And she will start the sentence by saying, I had a lovely day today. And because of the lovely day, I ran into this woman and oh, she was so nice. And she had the prettiest pink dress on and it made me think of you and da 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 da. And in the middle of the dissertation, there's a question, okay? And this is a text I got very recently. And the question, it was a yes or no question. So she sent me this whole long thing and my reply was, yes. So she texted back and she said, are you mad at me? And I said, no, why would you think that? And she said, because your response was so short. I said, well, you asked me one question and it was a yes or no answer. And the answer was yes. I don't feel the need to tell you what color I'm wearing and how the weather is. And I'm so glad you met a new friend at the store. It answers yes. So you got to know that when you're talking to people, you got to adapt to their language. Okay, so with that said, we're talking tonight about how to talk to people with a primarily red color, because most network marketers, that's what they're going to relate to. You want to say something before we start?
So that doesn't,
oh wait, sorry. And there's 10 things you can say.
All right, so it doesn't mean if you're not red as your primary color that you're not a leader, that you can't make it to the top. So I just want to be clear before I make my statement here that It doesn't matter what color you are. You can go all the way and you could be the best leader ever. But having said that, the majority of leaders in network marketing are red. And they're going to ask, because Tina brought this up, because when you run into a leader, they're going to ask very specific questions, and they're not going to ask about the product too much. They're going to go right to the comp plan. And so the first thing that you all should know, almost memorize, is our comp plan. Because if they ask you about the comp plan and you don't know it, they're going to move on to the next person. And so you want to be versed in the comp plan and read questions. And I won't go over those because Tina's going to go over some of these questions. But when you listen for what they're asking for, you could go, you could automatically tell that they have experience. Because if I were to ask about a company, I would ask about the product, what it is, and then I'd go right into the business and ask those kind of questions. Who owns it? What kind of comp plan? Where's manufacturing, the payment processor, all these things. So Tina's going to go over those right now.
Well, okay. So when a network marketer calls me and asks me, hey, what are you up to? What's this new thing? Or I send a text or an email or something that captures their attention. And I say, hey, let's get on the phone. The first thing I say is, when we started this 9 months ago, when we first heard about this, there was like 8 to 10 things that totally captured my attention. That's the first thing I say, because now they know I'm going to say about 8 things. I'm not going to give them a 25-minute long thing or make them watch 18 videos. I'm going to tell them 8 bullet points. Okay. And these are the 8 to 10 things that I thought were the very most important. Kelly thought were the very most important. And when you hear them, you're going to say, oh yeah, that's what got me excited too. Okay. So the first one, company's been in business 9 years. It's usually the first thing I say. And I'll say it like this. Can you believe this company is 9.5 years old? 9.5 years old. And yet no one's heard of it in the United States? That means we get to launch it here, but we don't have to go through a normal launch, which is painful with bumps and bruises. And even though it's exciting, everybody really ends up hating that time period. Would you all agree that that's the truth? If you've been through a launch, it's painful. There's bumps and bruises. You got to forage your way through, and it's not all that fun in the end, right? We all know that. So we get to launch here in the US without having to actually go through the pains of a launch. Okay, so that's the first thing. What would you say to that topic?
For the launch?
Yeah.
I would talk about how stable the companies is, because it passed the 2, 3, 5, and 7 year mark where most companies are out of business by that time.
That's exactly what number 2 was. A solid proven track record. 9 years in business, went from 87 million to 109 million to 200 million that following year. Okay. I see you guys writing. I'll slow it down, but we are recording this. But it's solid, stable, and proven already, which means it's already surpassed the 3-year, the 5-year, and the 7-year mark where most network marketing companies fail. Because now you've related to them on 2 things. You've related to them on, gosh, doing a launch just sounds painful and exhausting. And number 2, if I'm going to put my efforts into this company, I hope they don't fail, right? 2 biggies for network marketers, 2 things they really want to hear. Okay, number 3, who's the owner? Well, I talk about Sergey for a second. I don't say a lot, but I do say, listen, the owner's 33 years old. He's certainly going to outlive me, which is great. If you've ever been in a company within a 60-some-ish plus year old owner, the thought crosses your mind, man, what happens if he dies? What's going to happen to my business? We've thought that in companies.
We've been in a company.
We were in a company where the owner had to like hobble across the stage with his humongous belly.
Heavy breathing. By the time he got to the mic, and I was like, oh my gosh, he could die on the stage. And then what's going to happen? That I'm telling you, network marketers want to hear that.
that has the long-term stickability because our owner is so young. He's 33 and he started in network marketing at 17, which means he knows exactly what we're going through. There's nothing worse than an owner of a company who knows crap about network marketing and they make all these ridiculous decisions that we go, what is that guy thinking? He doesn't know what he's talking about because he's never done network marketing. He's never been in our position. Well, Sergey has. Okay. So that's point number 3. It's a big deal. Point number 4, commissions. Okay. Everybody wants to know, well, how good is the pay plan? How many of you, by raise of hand, have been in a company that had a great product with a crappy pay plan? Okay, as we all have. So for Reds, they're going, man, I don't want to fall in love with this product if the pay plan sucks. So clearly that's a big deal. And I don't go through all 15 ways we get paid, but what Kelly said, they will ask questions, so it's good to know that. But here's the things I do say. 63 cents on the dollar. That's almost double every other company in the industry. 15 ways to get paid. It pays out daily. We had a guy here at our house the other day and he kept going, daily? You mean just like every day? Yeah, that's what daily means, every day. He goes, well, how can you get paid every day? I don't know, because they do. They pay us every day. I'm not going to I don't care how they do it, right? It's pretty exciting. It's both a binary and a unilevel. It's both a binary and a unilevel. Network marketers want to hear that. Why? Because a binary is about fast, exciting, teamwork, and a lot of money up front. And the unilevel is about solid, stable, residual income. And why would you not want both? Most companies in this industry are one or the other. Okay? So that's point number 4. That's a big deal. Another thing I do bring up is that they've used this because a lot of people are going to say this. That's too much. 63 cents on the dollar, 15 ways you get paid out daily. That's too much. The company will go under because that's what happens with companies that have really great comp plans. And then I say this, oh no, they've been in business 9 years. They're not going anywhere. And this comp plan was not created for the United States. This is the same comp plan they've been using for 9 years straight. Okay, talk about stable. You can talk about the Diamond Club. You don't have to say a lot about it, just that we have a Diamond Club for elite and exclusive leaders. Status versus rank. You should learn the difference between status and rank. They're going to ask you that. Okay. All that means is that we have an opportunity. I kind of tell it more like in a story. I'll say, have you ever been in one of those companies that had awesome percentages up at the top, but it took people like 5 years to get to the top? Yes, we've all been in a company like that. And how many people make it to the top? 5%? Well, now we have the opportunity to make it to the top percentages on day 1. How's that sound? So you don't need to know the whole comp plan if you know these little details, right? It evens out the playing field. Oh, and the other one, Kevin Thompson. Write that name down. Remember that. Because if anyone ever says this is a, they don't believe the comp plan pays out that much, they think it won't sustain, anything like that, all you have to say is, well, our lawyer, Kevin Thompson, helped write the wording for the United States version of this comp plan. And he thinks it's going to be great.
It's Kevin Thompson approved.
Yeah. He is the #1 lawyer for network marketing. That's a big deal. It's a good name to keep in your vault.
If you know that, then it makes you look smarter to them. The fact that you would know Kevin Thompson.
Yes.
Because if you're in network marketing and you're a leader, you know who that is. It just comes with the knowledge of being in business for many years, and it will give you some levity in the conversation when you're talking to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Okay, point number 5, stats. Okay, us Reds, we love the stats. Give me some numbers, baby, right? We love the stats. We're AAA plus rated, okay? And they'll say, sure, a lot of companies first starting out are AAA plus rated. Yeah, but we're 9.5 years old. To maintain that rating is remarkable and very difficult, okay? We're number 14 in momentum. Started at number 119 and moved up to 14 in 9 months. Ted Wynn for Business from Home magazine or Business for Home online community said we're in the top 5 best companies to join for 2021. That's a good stat right there. Okay, number 6, product. Okay, product.
Can I say the number one most important thing about the product?
Yes.
The smart ship, auto ship. The most impressive thing that leaders are going to see is that the auto ship is only 40 in volume, so about $50 a month. That means the most amount of people can do this. It's not 100, it's not 200, it's not 186. It's the least expensive auto ship in the industry. That means they're going to attract and capture a lot of people because that's what they're thinking. Not for themselves. They're thinking, if it's affordable, that means I could get even more people. And in other countries, even where they don't have, the funds, they can get more people involved at a very low cost. And on top of that, the product's incredible. It's lightweight, it's small. So those are things that are attractive. Every leader we brought in loves the fact that the auto ship is a low cost.
This is the other one I use sometimes in a visual if I'm doing a Zoom, and sometimes I'll just say it. If I were to give you 12 capsules or 4 lifesavers, what would you prefer? No one has ever said the capsules, ever. And I said, given the same nutritional value, capsules that you have to go through your digestive tract, or a DNA drop that you melt in your mouth, okay? This or this, the comparisons are great for people that are red. Great. Love a comparison and love a choice. It's a category creator, one of a kind. 9 years old, no one's duplicated it. People will say, is the product patented? No, it's not. But the technology is patented. The technology to make the product is patented, okay? Affordable. The quality certificates. The fact that we have 30 certificates of quality, okay? That's a good one. Non-GMO, organic, no allergens, dairy-free, gluten-free, all that kind of stuff. People love those like bullet points. The next one, leaders, because if they're network marketers, they're going to say, well, who's involved? There's people that came out of retirement to do this, right? We've got leaders who know their country's not going to open for a year, and they're still jumping in and doing whatever it takes to be a part of it immediately, okay? You'll see on Business for Home, all the recommended distributors. You'll see people that left network marketing and came back. You'll see people that were in a company last week, a different one, that are now here because they want to be involved. So yes, you can talk about the highest paychecks. Of the top 10 paid in the world, over 300,000 affiliates, 5 of them are in the US already after just 9 months. The timing, being first, that's what leaders want to hear. That's what network marketers want to hear. You want to be first or you want to be last? I always say you're going to be involved at some point in time anyway. You want to be first or last. Okay.
So, I'm going to add to that. So when you say that first, most people join a movement once it's already moving. All right. And the opportunity diminishes when it's already moving. All right. But it's before, like buying Apple stock at $2 a share, or, back when it started, or do you want to buy it for $2,000 a share today? How much money are you going to make on the $2,000 share? Not much. Still good stock, but if you bought it at $2 a share, you won't be on this call because you're already on an island somewhere because you made it pretty big. And they're going to, so timing. So you know, and by the way, they hear this from everybody, but you got to impress that it's not a startup. We are starting in the United States, but you got to go back to reminding them, listen, this company's been around for 9.5 years, but we're just launching in the US, Canada, Australia, and these other countries. And that's impressive to them because a lot of leaders are going, okay, it's a startup. No thanks. You know, if you've been part of a startup, it's a lot of bumps and bruises and, you know, going a nightmare for the most part to get all the kinks out. And that's unattractive to a lot. They just want to come in here and make money and have the ease upon which they can instantly bring their teams on and people on board without all the hassle and haggle and, you know, customer service issues. So, you know, it makes a big difference when you say these things because that's what they're looking for. And they're going to be short with you, by the way. I guess I'll wait.
No, that's good. We're at the end.
Okay. So here's,
we got one more.
From the very start of a conversation, first of all, leaders normally don't make up their minds right away. They're going to research. When we were asked to consult with this, and then I started researching it, and I'm looking at things, and we were getting more impressed and more impressed. It was weeks before we made a decision because I'm calling to find out, you know, very specific things like payment processor. If it's not in the US, forget it. I'm not even going to look any further. I'm not going to waste my time because I don't do any company where it's a payment processor and suddenly the funds are gone and, you know, it's over in a second. You know, the owner, who's the owner? Is he willing to talk to me on the phone? Can I ask him questions? Can I break bread with him? Super important for me. So I could see face to face and see his reaction, which was very good, even though he didn't even speak English. But again, it was a great meeting to have. So they may want to do a face-to-face. They may want to get you on the phone with the ownership or the top leaders, which you should say, yes, I could do that. And of course we would do that. But they're going to be short. They're usually very confident because they know their value, right? If they have a team, guess what? They're looking for people that are either on the same level or better than them. So that's why you got to know your stuff when you're talking to them. And if you don't know some of this stuff and they catch you, you know, they're going to go, this person might be a greenhorn and just started last week. And so you want to be well-versed when you're talking to them because they're going to be extremely specific. I could figure that out in the first 3 minutes if somebody knows what they're talking about in network marketing by just asking very specific questions. And like comp plan, if you don't know your comp plan, forget it. They want somebody that knows.
Well, okay, can I add a caveat to that? We don't know all 15 ways we get paid. There's so many, but you got to know the top 5. That's enough. The top 5 will be enough to impress them. We were with a gentleman the other day, and we were talking about the first start, and then we were talking about the ninery, and then we were talking about the check matching. And he goes, wait a minute, you get all 3 of those like on top of each other? I said, not one or the other or the other. No, all 3 of them. That's the kind of stuff people are going to want to know, right? That's going to impress them. It's not your job to tell them the entire story. It's like a movie. The trailer is not supposed to tell us the whole story. The trailer is supposed to get us excited enough to want to hear the rest of the story, to want to go to the movie and watch the whole thing, right? You got to know enough bullet points and enough about the trailer to make them go, oh, I got to know more. I got to know a little bit more. Research this. The last thing was the system. When they say, do we have a system? Do you already have a system in place? Yes, we do. Okay. The texts, pre-written texts, already written. Surveys, already done. Follow-up, already done. Videos, already made. Campaigns for both the product and the business and the onboarding, already done. which means they need to do very little. You know what they need to do?
Turnkey.
Grab their phone, download the app, and start at step 1, invite. So those are the main things, right? That was about 8 to 10 things. Now we went into more detail so you guys would know why we think those 8 to 10 things are important, but just those 8 to 10 things are enough to make a network marketer go, yeah, I need more information on this. I got to know more. He said, I want to sign up again today. It's good information.
So, and just to know the difference between different people, there's some people that just like life coaches out there on Facebook. What qualifies them to be a life coach, right? I mean, I'm sure there's real people that qualify to be a life coach, but some people just take a course and, you know, hand stamp themselves as being able to fix everybody's problems. And I call those people all hat and no cattle. So you will run into the opposite of people saying they're this big leader, they're this or that, and they're going to ask for the world. And, you know, they couldn't sign up their mom. So you have to know, be able to tell if they know what they're talking about, because you could push back and ask them and say, hey, what have you done? What kind of volume have you created in your last venture? And if it's over 100,000 in volume a month, then yes, that's good. That's, you know, top 5% in the world. So that, you know, they've definitely experienced. But if they don't know their volume, like if they couldn't answer that right off the bat, you know, you might still talk to them. I'm not saying don't, but you want to do as much research on them. And I would look at their social media pages. I would look how many friends they have, how many friends you have in common, you know, how many, I'll hold them up here.
Because they keep hearing thump, thump.
Was I doing it? I can't
thump.
hear it.
Every time you put your hands down, keep them.
So just, you want to research people and then even look for some things that you can say that you have in common to build rapport with them, and, you know, where they can identify and they appreciate that you know a little bit about them. You know, they might have written a book, or, you know, they might like the same team you like, but I always go to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You know, if they have one friend, you know, or less than, you know, a couple hundred friends, then I'm like, you know, usually people that are, you know, influencers have 5,000 on Facebook, or almost maxed out, you know, have a lot of following and this and that. So, but that doesn't mean they can't be that. You know,
well, and we're not, and yeah, and of course we talk to everybody. I don't care if you have one friend. If this is going to help you and you want to be in business, great. Come on, join the team, have some fun with us. Let's make it happen. But today's talk was about how to talk to people like he's describing. If you find that someone has over a couple thousand friends, you know, and they're getting lots of comments and posts, and their friends list, they show that you have 78 other mutual network marketing friends. These are the people that this training was for, on how to talk to those kind of people.
And I'll flip the script. When Tina and I, when somebody's prospecting us, here's my question to them. Oh, do you do weekly webinars for your entire team? Are you available for 3-way calls most of the day? Or do you have a system in place where you could prospect? Do you have any kind of like rapid funnel in place? What do your trainings look like? How often are your trainings? And if they don't have that, then of course, why would I want to sign up with you? Because we do that. And it's, you know, I'm looking for somebody as equal or higher value to partner with. And that doesn't mean that, you know, it means what it means, really. That's exactly what people are going to ask you. So, you know, that's why you want to be on all the webinars. You want to be well-versed in the lingo, the jargon, the whole everything that's happening here. Know all the dates of stuff. like Tina says, you want to be able to check the boxes on everything that's happening and be in the know. So then I was going to go into what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So what I was going to say, last thing on that topic, was when Kelly says equal partners, he means match action for action. If I'm going to come on a network marketer and I'm thinking about joining someone's team, whoever that is that I'm kind of, interviewing, I guess, to be a sponsor, if their action and how much action they take is not equivalent to how much action I plan on taking, I will not join them. If they say, oh yeah, our team does calls every Thursday, but I only jump on once a week, and I'm planning on being on there every week, and the sponsor's only going to be on it once a month, that's not the right sponsor for me, right? So that's what, when we talk about equal, that's what we mean. That's what we're talking about, is matching energy for energy, action for action.
And actually, overall, it's people want consistency. So it's not do as I say, not as I do. They want to, if you're expecting somebody to be on a call or on a webinar, then you better be there, right? You better be there.
So great example. The other night, the Spanish launch of Latin America was all in Spanish. It was supposed to be in English and Spanish, and it was all in Spanish, but I had a guest on there. So I was on there. I didn't know what was happening. He was texting me what was happening, but at least I was on there. He saw that I was present in the moment with him, and that's what people want. So how rude would that have been if I invited him on the webinar with me and then I took off because I didn't want to be on there? Really, the honest truth is I was like, I don't want to be on this webinar. I don't even know what's happening, right?
And if you invite guests to webinars and they don't show up, stay on and learn the language and how it's get explained. So it's so repetitive that when you're on your own, you could repeat it like that. So, and then there's people look at people that are leaders in companies that join and they think, oh, well, they got, they must have gotten some special treatment or whatever. And I just want to tell you from mine and Tina's experience, first of all, this is the first company where we're literally at the very top of the company. But I'm not going to talk about that yet. I'm going to talk about every other company we've been in. We've started at the very bottom, like at the very bottom. And here's what it doesn't mean that leaders won't join your team. Doesn't matter where you are in the tree, because at any moment, anybody could pass us up or your sponsor up at any time. That's the beauty of this business, is nothing's holding you back. And I remember being in one company with that we joined, and we were at the very bottom. There's 2 master reps above us, and we were even below them on their team. So whatever we did benefited them, and we still passed them up just like that in results. And they benefited from our volume even. So that it doesn't matter where you are. It's what matters is that you treat this like a business and that you treat it seriously, and others know that your confidence and your seriousness on where you're going, that's what matters the most, and how consistent you are.
So I heard Sergey say something when we first started, and it made me laugh, and I'm like, now I use it all the time. So we, the second time he was in town, he invited us to his hotel room to do a mastermind group with the IT in Russia. And so we went up there and we knocked on the door. Felix answered. We walked in, and Sergey was on a Zoom with, I don't know, somebody from the US, a leader, I'm guessing, I don't know, somebody. And so we were sitting there waiting, and I was listening, of course, because I want to hear what Sergey said. I want to learn from what he says, right? So we're listening, and the guy on the webinar said, so I'm looking to get a deal. What kind of deal can I get? And Sergey said, oh, I know what you're asking. It's a great deal. The deal is that you get to build this company with me. I was like, That's awesome that he would just say that to this guy who was probably, I don't know what he was expecting. But he goes, oh, the great deal is that you get to build this. Yay. It was so funny, huh? And then now he says this. Now he said, when we talked about that later, now I say this, when people say, what kind of deal can I get? I go, I'm going to give you the same deal I got. You get a position and you get to build 2 legs. Congratulations. Just like, right? People are funny when they say
they
that.
actually want to be at the top, and they don't realize, because we like I said,
Yeah, they don't.
We start at the top here. That means we get 0 spillover because there's nobody above us. So it's actually smarter to be actually,
on a momentum leg moving.
On a team or a leg or underneath a sponsor that's going to move to enjoy that. And there's people on here right now that have 50 to 100,000 in volume, and it's sitting there. Like, we would kill for that. It's sitting there right there. Half the work, more than half the work's already done. It's just a matter of doing one more team, working one side of the team. What's going on? What are you waiting for is my question. What are you waiting? That's the biggest demand and dream that people have is, man, I wish I could have one team built for me. Well, there's tons of people that have that. And that's, the efforts of the leaders here and ourselves from getting busy, right? Because it had to start somewhere. And now we have this team, this momentum going. But the biggest mistake anybody could make is wait till we're the number one opportunity and momentum to get started.
So we're going to leave it at that. We're going to end it with that. Like Kelly said, the biggest mistake you can make is to wait. This is not the waiting time. This is the go, go, go time right now. And on this training, I'm glad you guys took some notes. I'll have it on the team page in, 20 minutes or so. Watch it again. Make your own bullet point list, right? You don't have to say things the way we say them. Clearly, we're not the same people. We want you to say it your way, but stick with the bullet points, knowing that's what these people want to hear. And don't wait. Don't wait to learn these points until we're number 9 or number 8 or number 1, because I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to be number 1 in momentum by our 1-year anniversary in this company, which is July 26th, right? So you don't want to wait until that happens and people are looking for leaders, and they're going to join the people that are getting busy, taking action, and know those bullet points. So thanks, guys. Great training. We're going to turn this off and answer some questions.